after all this shit that's coming out about Biden and about Kamala, between the two of them, the entire anyone who has ever worked for the Democratic Party at all, whatever, since 2016, arguably, or at least 2020, should be buried up to their neck in the sand and covered in fire ants and fire ants and fire ants and fire ants and fire ants.
What?
Like
So, oh,
it,
okay. What's come out? Because I've been like trying to avoid the news. Probably 2 weeks. I haven't really paid much attention.
okay, so the okay. So the short version is that there's a bunch of articles that have come out. The Wall Street Journal publishing the biggest one that like everybody's read, right? That's basically like, hey, you remember when we said that you were QAnon conspiracy theorists and that Biden had a stutter and that his brain wasn't leaking out of his ears and that you couldn't believe your lying eyes? Well, they were lying about that to everyone the entire time, right? Like, and it's now confirmed and sourced information. It's not like, it's not conjecture anymore, right? It's not you're not it's like, oh yeah, no, for all of his presidency, he has been either shot with fucking speedballs or dead, right? Not in no in between, right? He's either asleep or he's very awake, uh and uh and hasn't been being the president at all.
So it
It's
was
been
like
this
it was
fucking
like the
little
last
Politburo.
the last couple of years of the Reagan and the whole time.
Yes, the whole time. Yes,
All
and
right. Except probably they
and
didn't let Jill have as much power.
oh, Jill had all the power. Jill was fucking running the show.
Oh, was she?
Jill was one of like six or so people who had direct contact with Biden, and like people like the Secretary of Defense or like the fucking whatever, like to pick another cabinet guy, whatever. Like they would be like, "Hey, when can we meet with the president?" And they'd be like, "Nah, not you can't." Like it was just like it's like you
You can
know
talk to us though.
it's like now I would say that, hey, this is a perfect opportunity. The president shouldn't be one guy. It should be like six or eight people or nine people or whatever. It's an odd number of people to fucking be able to like decide stuff like that are constantly arguing with each other, right? And just at each other's throats, and it should be a total shit show, right? That's what America should be. It should everything that happens should be that involves power should be just an absolute nightmare to deal with, right? And that's how the founding fathers, right? Like, and so, but 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 we don't. That's not how it's supposed to be. And so the reason
Yeah,
why the
it's a
Democrats ain't
little.
shit. This is
I
the thing.
think the
This is
biggest
where
concern is like how much like everything.
I mean, they for 4 whole years, right? And it took some 11th hour weird ass fucking finagling bullshit to fucking get him out of there because Obama and like the people with half a brain cell left, right? We're like, dude, you gotta get him out of here.
I think
Like
you know what it
that's
probably was is like the people who were saying like, oh yeah, we can do this another time around. Like they probably were with him the whole 4 years, and his uh you know digression or whatever you want to call it his falling off mentally, which happened before 20, but
yes.
has gotten worse like that. those people watched it happen in slow motion, didn't notice it as much. Whereas people kind of more on the outside looking in were like, what? What did he just say? Hello, what's
That's
going
not
on?
the that's wishful thinking. What it really was like literally like like 6 to 8 people who were around him all the time that started with like COVID protocols and shit, like not trying to not let him get sick, you know?
Hmm.
And then that just continued into the future indefinitely because he's a doddering old man who sucked to begin with. But that's the other thing. It's like even when he was, cogent and with it or whatever, he was still Joe Biden, right? So like now it's Joe Biden at a diminished capacity the whole time, right? And they all knew, and they all lied, right? That's also an indictment of the mainstream press, right? Fucking, the liberal media in quotes, right? And every Democrat
Yeah.
and uh and the Biden administration and uh Obama, and it's like it's all of them all across the board have flushed their legacies and their fucking political futures in down the toilet, right? In defense of this fucking piece of shit who didn't even know where he was, right? Like that's the thing that doesn't make any sense about it. Like, what the fuck? Kick him out of there. Fucking throw him down a flight of stairs. You know what I mean? Like, what fucking, there's a million ways to get rid of him. You can't get rid of him. What are you, fucking pussies? What the fuck? This is national. This is international politics. Fucking, you know, fucking close a door on his head. You know what I mean? Get like fucking kill him. Whatever. Not really, right? Not me to do. This isn't me. I'm not giving advice, nor am I saying anything that I'm going to do. I'm just saying, kill him. Why not? He's in the way of all of you, right? And then the other thing that happened, and the thing that really drives me nuts, the real like that's whatever covering for the emperor with no clothes is like a old timey politics, right? Like that's tales all the time. But but when they finally did get him out of there, and he fucking threw his weight behind Kamala, there was a lot of people that were going like, I don't know about her, man, right? And they were right, but she made it worse. And unbelievably, like she was trying to lose, she fucking did what the fuck was it? I have it. Hold on, I have it here somewhere. She did some fucking interview or something with fucking what's like a union guy or something. Hold on, like I have it here somewhere. Uh, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, this is a whatever guy named Anthony La Mesa on Twitter. Teamsters President Sean O'Brien on Kamala Harris. She only wanted to answer 3 of 16 questions at her interview with Teamsters members. On the 4th question, one of Kamala's aides slipped a note in front of O'Brien that said, "This will be the last question," which was 20 minutes earlier than the interview's scheduled end time. And on the way out, Kamala exclaimed, "I'm going to win with or without you." That, like that last bit there, I don't want to hear shit about any fucking voters or fucking, demographics or slippage into the right wing or blah, 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 blah. No, you had not just a bad candidate who didn't have enough time to run and has no thoughts in her brain, right? Not it's like Biden has lots of thoughts, but they're all mush, right? Kamala is like a whistling void, right? And she fucking ate shit because she was overconfident. Like, what fucking what? Right? And to be fair, right? It's like you think, well, I'm running against Trump and my brain's not falling out of my ears, so it's gotta be. I can fucking this is a cakewalk, right? I don't give a fuck what the polls say. I would think that, right? I did think that. I thought it doesn't fucking matter what she says at all. She's not Trump and she's not 85, right? So she wins, right? I was certain of that. And they managed snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, or snatch defeat from the jaws of victory so perfectly that it's like that I really think that like way more so than 2016 or whatever the fuck, way more so my brain is cooked. I'm fucked because that shit is crazy. It is crazy that they took a black lady, any black lady, fucking anyone. You could have picked anyone, and they would have been the outsider candidate against a former fucking president who's 80 years old, right? And they managed to somehow, through trickery and fucking being the biggest losers of all time, managed to make an 80-year-old man who used to be the president seem like the guy who, was the maverick, fighting the man. What the fuck? What the fuck? How? She's not Hillary Clinton. There's no excuse for this. And so that's where it goes. Every single one of these motherfuckers better fucking got. Like, if there is any of that Democrat machine left, if there's any of that fucking Seth Rich Killer Instinct type fucking whatever guys mysteriously disappearing, all any of that shit, you get on those motherfuckers right now. This is fucking game time, man. This is real shit. Right? They just ate shit in front of everybody, and they lied about a fucking old man's brain falling out of his head. 4 years, you guys are fucked. You guys are fucked. This party's done forever. Like, people aren't gonna forget about this. I really think that now, whatever.
Part of me thinks that it was like they blew it on purpose so they could fundraise for another 4 years off Trump.
It's the only thing that makes even remote sense. Because if it's not that, if they didn't do it on purpose, if they were trying to win and they lost, then they managed to fucking hit every single loser ass thing on the way down, right? Like it was like they bowled a perfect zero game. They didn't accidentally hit anything. They didn't they didn't pick any sport metaphor, right? They literally did the opposite of what you are supposed to do to win, to the point where it actually seems like a skill to do, right? It's like getting a zero on a test, right? It's impossible. But if you manage to do it, it's kind of more impressive than getting like a good grade. Like, that's what it's like. So it's either that, which honestly, given that it's the Democrats, that's plausible. Like, only these people are the people that could lose so spectacularly like this, right? Mm-hmm. If there's any group of people who just have their heads up their own asses and they just know nothing about how anyone thinks about anything at all, it's them.
Right.
But do I think that there's gotta be somebody around there who at least knows a human being from a different part of even Virginia or Maryland? Yes, I think that that's probably the case, right? I think that some of them probably have normal family members somewhere who are like, "Hey, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? This is insane. This is what you're doing, right?" And they either ignore that or they go, "Yes, we're trying to blow it. Put all your money on Trump," right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Don't know.
You know what I
The
want
fact
to?
that I don't know is fucking is infuriating enough.
I don't want to drink a beer with those Pod Save America guys. I want to get them shit faced and be like, all right,
Yes.
for real, what do you know? Like,
The
did they
fuck is going
throw
on?
this shit on purpose? Like, what's the insider? Like, come on. And they start saying, like, oh, well, so you gotta start talking more about kitchen table. No, no, no. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the
Let's.
fuck up. Give me the real shit. Give me the hard shit.
What's the real fucking scoop? Like what happened? Like,
What
did
the
y'all
fuck? No, and it's like, and could I see them saying, but could I see them in a moment of brutal honesty saying, "I don't fucking know," right? Like, like even them, right? Like even what some of those loser fucking
Yeah.
assholes, like whatever. Even some Hillary staffers could be like, "I don't fucking know what happened. They fucking blew this," right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, I told them to talk about this and that, and it's like they, them not, but like someone else who's usually always wrong, not being wrong like twice would have done it, right?
Did
Like
you
it's like if they had just not done literally everything wrong, then they would have won handily. I'm utterly convinced.
well,
Like
I mean, I don't know. I don't think the campaign was like that bad, but it was pretty
no,
bad. Like
the
there
worst
was a lot of
campaign I've ever seen ever. The worst one ever. It's never going to be topped ever unless we stop having them. Unless it's like literally, it's just Zoom calls and shit, and there's no campaigns at all. There's no signs or physical media of any kind. And if campaigns just are nerds on computers that you have to specially go to, like you have to fucking, it's like it's a special website that you go to get your campaign shit, right?
yeah.
Like, and
Well,
there's no appeal to anyone normal.
basically my belief is that they basically ran the same campaign that they ran in 2020. And in 2020, the campaign was basically we're the normal ones. Trump is the crazy, weird,
Yes,
psycho
but
shit. And it
listen,
worked in 2020 because we were literally experiencing Trump and his administration like daily. We were feeling it grinding us down. And so 2020 was like a breath of fresh air. Oh yeah, normalcy, cool. But then you try to run that same exact campaign 4 years later with a different candidate, but still the same vibe or whatever, and still the same basic campaign. And it's just like it didn't work quite so well because some people were looking back at the Trump years with rose-colored glasses,
I
especially when their pocketbooks are hurting with the fucking inflation and everything.
I
And I
think
think
that
that's really what it comes down to.
I think that everything you just said is li- all almost literally everything that you just said is bullshit excuses cooked up by losers. Like
I just came
I'm
up
not
with
saying
that. And
that
what I didn't, that was, it's not like I'm regurgitating something I heard.
no, but
Like that's what
I'm
it
saying that
felt like to me.
right. And I'm saying that it's instead of it being that, right? It was literally people who never watch any news ever, who have a vague, and when I say vague, I mean barely registered sense of like civic duty that causes them to vote every 4 to 8 years, right? Those people watch the news 5 days before the election or whatever, 6 months, let's say, or whatever, even a year, right? Let's say it was the whole year, right? Let's say that normal people with, weirdo fucking, politics that are incoherent to us, but that are in 1,000% American. They start watching election coverage and what the fuck is going on with the president a year out, right? They watched Biden's drool and fucking, stammering and fucking stumbling around and not knowing where he is, right? They go, wait a minute, has this been like this whole time? And then they turn on some other, they go on YouTube and they fucking watch Fox News for 10 seconds and they go, yeah, it has been like this the whole time. And they go, they're liars. They're lying. So what the fuck am I supposed to trust anything they have to say about anything? And then on top of that, when they finally forced Biden out, Kamala didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. She didn't have any policy. She didn't like, literally, listening to fucking politics podcasts, right? I'm one of the freaks, right? And I was hearing politics say, why doesn't she just fucking lie? That would do it, right? And she wouldn't do it,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, either it's the Hillary Clinton thing where it's like you're so elitist and you think you deserve this so much, and that this clown that you're up against is so laughable that how dare you even question me about anything? I'm not Trump. Fuck you. I don't have to tell you anything, right? Which
yeah.
honestly makes sense, right? Yeah, it makes sense to me. I am an egomaniacal bastard, right? Like I would think that. I would think but I would also go on stage and say that, right? I'd be like, what the fuck is he in the poll? He's fucking, it's 50-50 with this fucker? Get the fuck out of here. No way. Like, no way. I don't have to tell you fuckers shit. I don't have to fucking say anything. I'm not him. He's fucking stupid. The end. Right? And just but own that shit. Right? Like, it's like the way the Democrats do it is such as perfect nerd loser shit. Right? It's like they have that ego, but then they couch it all in soft, fuzzy language that is totally meaningless and with no concrete promises at all to do anything good ever, right? And then they thought that was just going to be enough, or that's their way to try to throw it. Either way, the same result, and they should all be buried up to their necks and covered in fire ants. That's like, they should be dragged behind a boat until they're all gone.
Yeah, it's been a wild year watching this shit happen, and we have 3 weeks until the Trump administration starts. It feels like it's already started, but it hasn't.
I mean, whatever, right? Like, that's the other thing. It's like, this is where my real anger is, right? This is like, because being angry at the Democrats for being fucking losers is just whatever, right? Like, I'm not a fucking Democrat. What the fuck do I give a shit, right? But the people that were like counting on them, right? Trans people especially, like, but also women,
immigrants
of birthing age, and like gay people, right? Like, fucking the people that were like, hey, you guys can't, who were talking themselves into thinking that the Democrats aren't this bad, right? Like, I mean, it's like the people that anytime I would bring up any of the problems with Kamala or Biden ever with any of these fucking like lib family members, it would just go like, yeah, but they're not Trump. Right. Which was whatever. That's a fucking argument, technically. Right? Like, it's a bad argument. But
no, that's what I'm saying. It only worked in 2020. That argument. It didn't
Yes,
work in
but that, no,
2016,
and that
and
was
it didn't
because
work in
that wasn't
2024.
that wasn't because people didn't know that Biden's brain was leaking out of his face, right? We all knew that. We all watched the fucking thing. We all heard him say that you're not black if you don't vote for him, and fucking, all the fucking other weird, challenging a guy to push up contests and shit. We all saw that shit. That's not normal guy shit.
That's the
That's not
reason I
normal president
voted
shit.
for him. But
No, but I'm saying, like, but it was like, well, who gives a fuck, right? Like, it's not Trump. That's what it's like. So everyone said, who gives a shit? I don't care who's in there, as long as it's not Trump. I don't give a fuck. And then we put this doddering old fucking piece of shit loser in there, and he somehow managed to do like a couple of good things, but make it all seem awful. Like, and then
right.
somehow managed to fuck
Modern
it
day
up so
Jimmy Carter.
bad that even like his own people, even people that are watching and paying attention, like me, don't fucking know what the things that he did that are supposed to be good are, right? Like, they did like magic, right? It's like they did like a magic spell to hit with pinpoint deadly sniper accuracy to every single thing wrong from the moment that they started, right?
Right.
From January 7th to election day, they just did every single fucking thing you could possibly do to be wrong, liars who are bad, and seem worse than they are, even though they're bad and liars. Right? Like, it's like they managed to even fuck up the PR of being liars. Right? At least Trump just fucking goes and sits down and talks to fucking Theo Vaughn for 3 hours or whatever the fuck. And he's just a guy. Like, he doesn't have a team with him. He's not. He just fucking goes and sits there, and fucking is like, oh well, that's crazy. Oh well, that was pretty. Like, it's like he does the Trump thing still, right? That liar thing, right? That like he does always, right? But he's still just
it's
being a guy.
tremendous. It's tremendous, what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Like,
it's like that's what he says.
Whatever,
he has no
but
fucking clue about it.
he's a guy. He's a thing. That's a position. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that's a human being, right? Whereas Kamala fucking goes on and poorly recites canned phrases over and over again. Right? It's like it's like she's telling her life story, but it's fake, right? Like, that's
Right.
what it sounds like. It sounds like she's like, yeah, I was the daughter of immigrants, and I rode the bus, and I fuck blah blah blah, whatever, whatever thing is. But everything she says sounds like she's lying, because
Right.
she's lying so often, and she's bad at this.
Yeah. Well, honestly, though, like, hypothetical, let's say Biden, his mental state was roughly the same in 2024 as it was in 2019, 2020. And let's say he got through the debate with Trump, not bad, and there was no calls for him to drop out, and he actually was the candidate. Huh?
Shit, loses by 100 points.
Yeah, I don't think there would be any difference. I don't think there was any one that would say, "Oh well, I voted for," or I would vote for Biden, but I'm not going to vote for Kamala. No.
Oh, of course not. Now, but what did happen?
Now, Republicans were much more afraid of Kamala being because even with Biden's dementia, they still look at him like, well, he's a white man,
He's been there for 100 years. Right?
Yeah,
like, he at least
yeah. Like
how to
Kamala,
talk and play the game.
I definitely heard like, because I work with a lot of, Republican people, and like,
It's
like I
rednecks.
definitely heard them. They were just like scared shitless of Kamala being president. Like they thought it would be like she would be fucking Stalin or something. Like it's
I mean, which is
insane.
crazy. That is so. The
I'm
fact that
like,
they pulled
what the
that off,
fuck do you think
where
the difference would be other than she wouldn't be like forgetting where she is every 10 minutes? Like there, other than that, there wouldn't be any difference at all.
except that there's not even a guarantee that that's happening, right? Like all the weird, like where she just kind of laughs and just walks away, and like it's like
Well,
she
I don't
does
know.
dementia patient shit too, right? Like it's my
I'm
point.
not
My
gonna
point
go
is
down that all right, that if you wanna stand on that hill, conspiracy
no. I'm
theory,
saying
no.
I'm. My point
Um
is this. My point is this that that somehow a black woman who hasn't been even in office that much, right? Uh, managed to look like the establishment candidate because she was supported by the media and because she was so bad at campaigning, right? That's the two things, right?
yeah.
And the fact that the right wing machine managed to spin that degree of incompetence and political malpractice into that she was going to be Che Guevara is honestly masterful. Like the fact that anybody looked at her and saw her gibbering fucking wine mom bullshit and thought, no, she's hiding her power level. Oh,
She's gonna usher in communism.
and I mean, like, say that's the case. What the fuck? You'll be fine, right?
Dude,
Kamala's communism is not going to be fucking that much different,
when
guys.
when that
And
video went viral of Trump being like, and if Kamala becomes president, she's gonna usher in communism, everyone's gonna have universal health care and like that.
yeah,
And then they did like a hard clip, like that was like the end of the, and everyone was just like, oh my God, we're gonna get universal health care, guys. It's like there was a meme.
and they still managed to lose. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. It's like Trump was also fucking up all the time, but because he has one of his children is relatively normal, right? This is the other thing that I found out is that Barron was the one who was like go on Rogan and Theo Vaughn and whatever a couple of other podcasts, right? Go on
Uh,
podcast, right? That'll do it. That'll be it. And he was right because someone has to be normal, right? Like someone in orbit of all of these people has to be like normal in at least some sense, right? And a right of center boy, right? That's fucking hell yeah. There's lots of those, right? Tap into that fucking market, right? Whereas what the fuck did Kamala try to do? She tried to literally distance herself from every coalition in her base, except for the one who wants for nothing and who needs nothing and who just doesn't like Trump for like random and arbitrary cultural reasons, right?
yeah.
Like,
Like, oh
it's
yeah,
not even that they
like
dislike
Kamala being like,
tax
do you
cuts.
commit to banning Trump from Twitter? Remember that from the
Yes,
primary?
yes. What a fucking loser. And,
Like,
and
fucking Bernie was just like, are you kidding me? Like,
no, she tried to do that to Elizabeth Warren too, which was that was the even more of a loser thing. She tried to gotcha Elizabeth Warren with banning Trump from Twitter, which
uh,
is such fucking loser shit on so many levels that like, but this is the thing, right? This is the thing, right? Is it like that none of that shit should have mattered at all. right? No, it really should have been Kamala putting her cock and balls on the table and going, fuck you. Who the fuck else are you going to get? This is as good as you're going to get. Okay?
Right.
Fuck off. Right? You're going to get this and you're going to eat the shit and you're going to like it. Okay? That should have won. Like, if there was any competence on her side, she could have easily gone in there next, doing black lady shit, right? Doing egotistical black lady shit and beating the fuck out of Trump, right? Won every state where there's a majority black population in several of their most populous cities, it's like she would have won North Carolina and Georgia without question, right? It would have put fucking South Carolina in play, maybe, right? It's like, but she literally said, "Fuck Palestine, fuck." I'm not going to talk about abortion. I'm not going to say any of the concrete economic stuff, even though we're going to talk about economics all the time. And I'm not going to play up the fact that I'm a woman or I'm black or Asian or whatever, right? It's like she's not going to do any of the Democrat stuff. She's just going to focus on making more war and being conservative.
Yay!
It's unfucking believable.
Yay!
It's unfucking believable. 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 It's unfucking believable.